So, good afternoon, Michiel. Thank you for coming all the way from Belgium with the train to Amsterdam. Can you say something about yourself and NMBS and your role?
Yes, so I'm Michiel Van Raemdonck, working as a marketing automation manager in the customer data team. So mainly working on what's in the name, marketing automation, and on the customer data platform project for NMBS, which is the Belgian railway companies, for those who don't know NMBS. With, you see the numbers on the screen, with about 900K travelers per day on 3,800 trains per day. We're really working on the customer satisfaction. That's something that we are putting in the middle right now for our major goals today.
Yeah. So can you say a bit more about those business goals?
Yeah. So what do we want to achieve? We want to be the backbone of the mobility in Belgium. So we're really trying to be in the center of a customer's mind when he wants to go from point A to point B. And to be able to do that, we really need to understand that customer, because a couple of years ago, we didn't have an idea about who was our customer. We only looked at the numbers. Okay, we have that much revenue, that much tickets sold, but we didn't have a clue about which customer is traveling to which city and so on. So that's really the center of our activities today. Yeah.
So now you have that view, that single view of the customer. But while getting there, you've seen a couple of challenges. What are the main things that you want to share with the audience about what you've encountered and how you've been able to get past them?
Well, what I heard a couple of times today, it's not a surprise, and we're not the only one, that's clear. For years, data was not accessible at all. So we're really struggling about accessing that data and making them actionable. The major problem was that we have, I think KPN mentioned it too, a lot of legacy systems, old systems, not accessible or dangerous to access them, or with the risk of a crash, for example. So that was a second problem. And then, the really lack of autonomy for the business user, for marketing and sales. To give you an idea, if we wanted to send a promotional mail to customers who opted in for promotional content, it could take up to 2 weeks to get it out of the door. So asking for an export, importing them in an email marketing system, and sending it out, it took way too much time to be efficient.
Yeah. I think it's a common thing we see with every organization that talks to us about customer data platform and customer-centric vision. They've got lots of data. That data sits somewhere. It can't be used. Bringing that together in that brain for communication and orchestration is the key thing to do. If you focus on that third point, Michiel, lack of autonomy and the statement about the 2 weeks, how many people approximately were impacted in those 2 weeks? How many teams, how many people did you have to speak to for one simple use case?
It's about 5 teams. So we had the customer profile team, the team that managed the consent, IT, the content team, and the team that created the email.
Yeah. So 5 teams over the course of 2 weeks. Yeah. Definitely a way to improve that. Yeah. Let's dig a bit deeper and into the how. So let's have a look at your application landscape, and maybe you can share something about it.
Yeah, no problem. So we had a completely fragmented landscape before we did the customer data platform project, and we really listed everything we wanted to gather in one single source, let's say, to make that data actionable. So we had customer profile data in a CRM system. We had behavioral data in the free version of Google Analytics, not really that good of information. We had railcard subscriptions in one database. We had ticket sales of the mobile app in another, web sales in, again, another sales system. So we were really combining them in one single source. And NMBS is, let's say, SAP is a love brand for NMBS. We were really working closely with them. So it was a given for our architectural department that we needed a customer data cloud to collect all information from our legacy systems, and then for us as a business, send it all in a unified way with a unified data model to Adobe Experience Platform to be able to to segment, to analyze, to create campaigns, to really reach out to the customer in the best possible way. Because that was our tagline for the project, was get the right message to the right customer at the right time.
Yeah. So I can see lots of Adobe tools on that specific diagram. SAP is there as well, so it's I think worth mentioning that the Adobe platform is not just for Adobe, but it's accessible to any kind of third-party tool. Are there any other non-Adobe technologies that are connected to the platform or will be connected to the platform?
For the moment, no. No, we are still looking for ways to. Actually, we were planning to add follow analytics to the system. That's a tool we use for push messages, in-app messages, but plans have changed. So now we are really focused on one tool that gives us all the opportunities we need to really reach out to the customer and to collect all data to analyze it.
But you're also mentioning the content online, the social media content, user-generated content, and that will also have its place at some point in this ecosystem.
Yeah, certainly. That was the plan in the beginning, because we really aimed big for the best case scenario, where we also wanted to add social media and also the sentiment on social media for a certain customer. We're not there yet. We're taking it step by step, let's say.
I think that's an important lesson. Yeah. Good. Anyway, looking at what you've accomplished so far, what are the benefits currently that you see on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the benefit is that, the third one is actually a really interesting one, because we talked about the 2 weeks. Yeah. It now takes up to, let's say, 2 hours if necessary. If there's a big crisis, we can immediately react. We don't need IT, we don't need the consent team, because everything is managed in a correct way in all of the platforms. So we are confident that the data is correct, so we can proceed much, much faster. Of course, we are independent from IT. If we wanted to have a view on which customer bought which ticket, or how many times does a customer buy a ticket, it also took 2 to 3 weeks to get an export of the old system, if we could get it. And now it's on a daily basis for most sales systems, and for the app sales, which is the biggest sales channel, or the sales channels of the future for us, we are really getting that information in real time at our disposal, so we can use it, we can analyze it, we can react on the information that's coming in.
Yeah. I think that's also worth mentioning on the first one, having this real platform instead of many point solutions. Yep. I think every brand that I speak to, but also everybody who spoke here today, and on every other marketing event, you'll hear them say that this point solution approach isn't helping them in any way. Mm-hmm. Do you see any other benefits from that, having that single layer internally? Are there, as an example, the customer care environments, are they also looking into using that profile view to understand what a customer has done a couple of milliseconds ago before they were calling the call center? Is that also part of
that's something we are starting with. A first example is because we have not onboarded the customer service yet in Adobe, but they are seeing in their system, okay, which contacts did the customer have with us, which emails did they receive, is it the website visitors, and so on and so on. So we are getting there step by step again. I'm repeating myself. But
Good. From a learnings perspective, so you've been on this journey for almost 2 years now. Yep. Many things have happened. What can you say about the process?
It was an interesting process. It was a challenging process. First of all, the end goal has to be clear at the beginning, and then you have to get there step by step. And that was really, really a challenge, because we approached the project too much as an IT project, and actually it's a business project. You have to think of use cases and implement that use case, and that way you can grow with the tools. The way we approached it, again, firstly, it was quite a challenge because there were a lot of parties involved. We had NMBS business side, we had NMBS IT, but we also had Adobe, SAP, Tata Consulting also. All those people around the same table, virtual table, because it's in the middle of COVID, so it was really, really a challenge. So really to get everybody aligned to to see the clear goal where we're going to. That was the first hard thing to do. But then when the ball was rolling, it was really, it was hectic, but really great to achieve the things we achieved in the first phase.
Yeah. And that go step-by-step approach, you've mentioned a couple of times, but it's clear that you didn't start like that. You considered it as a big thing that had to be done all at once. I think that's also something that many brands expect while going through an RFP process, while selecting a new technology. But I think we consistently hear people like you say that that is not the right approach. It makes things too complicated and it's simply too much to handle at that point in time.
Certainly from a business point of view, it makes the adoption more difficult. If you have some hesitation at business side of of employees who are a bit afraid of data, they exist. To get them involved, to get them in the tools, start using them, it's really hard to do it with a full-blown option with, okay, you can do everything you want, tell me what you need. Yeah. So that's why the first campaign we launched was an email we sent to our railcard subscriptions customers, so they travel by train daily, for example. In the past, we sent an email, one size fits all. It doesn't exist, but we did it. The same mail to a customer, a student who buys a subscription for 30 euros each month. We sent the same mail to them as to a customer who pays 5,000 euros once a year. That doesn't work. And with these tools, we really had the opportunity to start testing, adopting the flows, and to see what the impact is on the conversion rate of those campaigns. Yeah.
I think you raise an interesting point, that concept of campaigns. Personally, whenever I hear the word campaign, it starts to feel, I feel shivers down my spine. The word campaign implies we push something to customers without them having asked for it. Is that mentality changing as well currently?
Yeah, certainly, because one even more important part is now we have the opportunity to also, let's say, look at the right moment to send it. So then we're not pushing it. If we know that the customer is about to renew his railcard, or it's the moment now, the right moment for him, then we will be contacting him. Yeah. So in the past, it was just 15 days before the end of the subscription, we send the email, no tracking at all, no differentiation. So yeah, it's really letting the campaign, the journey grow and personalize it at the right time, at the right information.
So step by step, move away from campaigns to a more always-on trigger-based kind of journey mechanism. Yeah.
And it works because we see a difference in conversion rate, where we see a conversion rate of the old campaign in CRM of let's say 30%. We are above 50 or even more for some subscription, over 90% of conversion rate. So it really works to adopt, to change, to really let the campaign or the journey evolve, the content evolve in the message you send to the customer.
Yeah, it's great to hear. What's next? So you've been on this journey for 2 years. Many organizations consider this a project which starts and has an end time. Clearly, that's not the case. It never ends. So what's next for NMBS?
Adding additional sources. The first one I'm thinking of is, so we have mainly been talking about traveling in Belgium. We also are a ticket seller for Thalys, Eurostar, ECA trains, so we really want to combine the national information we have with the international part to really have that global 360 view of the customer. It's already mentioned before today too. So that's one. And hopefully in the beginning of next year, starting with Journey Optimizer, to really start doing that real-time journey building. So that's a really important step for us. We have to be there at the right moment with the customer, through the app, through the website, through every possible channel we can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience as a potential point of attention, something that they should know about before they start doing this?
I think I've mentioned quite the most important lessons learned I've already mentioned. So take it step by step, but have a clear view of the strategy where you want to go, and don't be afraid. It's really fun.
Yeah, good. Thanks a lot, Michiel. Thanks for coming all the way from Belgium to Amsterdam. Have a great trip home.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.